I'm torn.
Are we having fun yet?
I am absolutely torn on Ben Simmons. Literally torn. I have no idea what is going on at this point. It's getting a little ridiculous, but we're definitely going to talk about it. But before we do, really quickly, if you guys want to enter the trivia, all you have to do is be a patron or YouTube member. This will be the trivia prize last Friday of the month, in which I will send out a link to patron and YouTube members for you to compete for the plaque. So that will be the prize of the month. Okay. Let's talk about this. So I am torn on Ben Simmons. After seeing this, I am highly confused, like really confused. Now I can see that you guys can't see it because it's kind of cut off, but I'll just read it for you. So it says, Ben Simmons has lost over $19 million in fines. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep things in perspective here. He's making like 31 million, right? So let's just read it all the way through. Has lost over 19 million in fines since the season began, and that number will reach 31 million if he continues to hold out. Every 2 weeks, instead of receiving his paycheck, the 76ers send him a summary of all his accumulated fines instead. Simmons is still showing up to shoot-arounds and film sessions to avoid even more fines, but he rarely stays long or engages with anyone. This is a terrible situation. Like, obviously with the San Antonio Spurs, we were in a very bad situation when it came to Kawhi Leonard, but I couldn't have imagined if we would have kept Kawhi Leonard as long as we did, because this could have very well happened, especially with him and what was going on with his uncle, and they just felt as if they were above it all, especially his uncle. I think that was, let's not talk about Dennis. But anyways, yeah, but when it comes to Ben Simmons, this is such a weird scenario, and I'm torn on it. I'm absolutely torn, because when it comes to Ben, I genuinely do see him as a superstar. I think that he has so many things in his arsenal that people just shrug off. He is a lockdown defender. You don't get a lot of lockdown defenders in the NBA. He's a facilitator who's a actual forward. You don't get a lot of that in the NBA. So I don't know. I'm torn. Him as a player, I know what he can bring to the table. But then things like this, it's like, on one hand, it is Philadelphia's fault, okay? It genuinely is. It is their fault because they threw him under the bus. But then at the same time, I've seen people talk about this too, that he needs to have thicker skin. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this person needs to have thicker skin, this guy needs to be tougher, blah, 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 blah. But yes, to be honest, it's Philadelphia, okay? These are the same people that tore down their own city when they won the Super Bowl. So this is a tough crowd, to say the least, okay? It is a very tough crowd. So when it comes to Ben, he is going to be thrown in the dirt. He's going to be thrown under the bus, and I do feel bad for him in that regard. But the way that he's going about this it just doesn't seem right. It just seems like it just doesn't help anything. And at this point, you got on one end, you got Morey for the Philadelphia 76ers, who is so stubborn. And then you have a superstar in Ben Simmons, who people have called him a diva. He's very stubborn. And I don't know what's going on with him as far as like mental health and things like in that regard. But I don't know. I'm not going to call BS on anything when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for ourselves. And the way that he's going about that, it is genuine spite at this point. He despises this team. And if that's true, if he really is just showing up like to film sessions and shoot arounds and not being engaged, that's just ugly. And we've already seen him come to the practice facility, with his hands in his pockets, not really being engaged. So it's not that I think that this is lying or anything, but look, we've seen it already. So I'm just going to go with what I saw, and we seen him do that. So this wouldn't be that far off. This is a terrible situation. Now, if you're the 76ers, this is what I will say. I will say you need to trade him now, and you need to try to get as much as you can right now. Now, as far as his contract, and I'm gonna give my reason for it, but his contract, I should have had this up already. Because I think I said 31, but let's see, how much is he making? He is making, 33. Okay, I wasn't that far off. So he's making about 33 million. Yeah, and he's taking a lot of fines. That is nuts. That is wild. But the biggest reason why I think you should probably go ahead and try to trade Ben Simmons is because Joel Embiid, while he's healthy right now and he's playing well and MVP candidate, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, he is a big man. He's a big man. Big men typically don't last very long in the NBA. I mean, as far as inflicting so much damage to their knees, being that size and the type of player that he is, and he has a lot of bounce to him. Now, don't get me wrong, Joel Embiid does have a jump shot, so that's going to help him longer, down the road in his career. But nothing's guaranteed. You don't want to waste any time when you have a premier big man. You do not want to waste time because you never know what's going to happen. Now, we had Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan was a tough cookie, all right? He was a tough guy. But even he lost a lot of athleticism over the years. It's just that he was so skilled, he had so many things in his arsenal that he could last longer. And having a Popovich that will sit you out and put on literally on the paper that, I'm sitting him out because he's old, really did help. But with this Ben Simmons situation, man, this is not good. I know some people can just shrug it off and say, oh no, this isn't a big deal. But dude, if you keep this guy and because at this point he's not going to play. I don't see him playing at all. And if you keep him and no one is desperate enough to give up their players, and he is a risk, okay? Ben Simmons is a risk. You have no leverage in this situation. I mean, you could be really dealing with him around the time this is supposed to be his prime years. Like in the next couple seasons, excuse me, he should be in his prime and you'll still be dealing with him. That's bad. You need to fix this now because I know 76ers fans are not happy with this, but I'll get with you guys later, man. That's just how I feel about it. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is crazy? Do you think they should go ahead and trade him? Or do you blame, Ben Simmons? Honestly, me personally, I'm torn. I'm genuinely torn, but I'll get with you guys later. Till next time.